Okay, now I'm going to go over how to turn degrees into radians or radians into degrees. So for number one here, we're starting off with 60 degrees. So we're going to want to convert that into radians. What is 60 degrees like in radians? And you would take that 60 degrees and multiply it by this ratio right here, which is pi radians over 180 degrees. If you'll recall, half a circle, we know that's 180 degrees, but as radians, it is pi radians, which is 3.14 radians. To go a complete circle, which is 360 degrees, that would be 2 pi radians. Okay, so when we're only dealing with half a circle here, so that's pi radians or 180 degrees. So that's the ratio that's being used. When we go back to problem number one here and multiply this out, the degree on top of a fraction and on a bottom of a fraction will just cancel out. And so you really have 60 pi radians on top of the fraction over 180. Now 60 and 180 reduce down to 1/3, so you can just put it pi over 3 radians. And that's actually the answer right there, pi over 3. It doesn't look like a traditional number, but that is going to be the number you would use for radians. You can actually take that, which pi, of course, is a number, 3.14 divided by 3, and this is actually approximately 1.04 radians. So 60 degrees in a circle is almost, it's a little bit over 1 radian. In fact, 1 radian is actually 57.2 degrees is actual 1 radian. Okay, let's go to the next one where we convert a radian measurement into degrees. So when we look at this number 2 here, let me erase some of this stuff here. We are starting with radians, even though it doesn't say the word radians. This negative 2 pi over 5, that's in radians. And don't worry about the negative, that's just the direction of the angle. We are going to multiply that by that same ratio, but just flipped it over. The 180 is on top of the fraction, and the radian number is on the bottom. What will happen here is the pi symbols would just cancel out. And actually, this would should say the word radians, and the radians would cancel out. And so you would simply go 2 times 180 degrees on top, which is 360 divided by 5 on the bottom. This happens to be a negative. And what is that equal to? This is equal to 72 degrees, negative 72 degrees. We're not really going to go into what the negative is, but really it's just a positive 72 is this way, a negative 72 is this way. Whoops, that would be negative 72 degrees. Not really worried about that in this math class. You'll see that in later classes. Okay, so that is how you turn radians into degrees. You use this formula, this ratio right here in blue.